So, the long-awaited video, what camera gear do you use? I'll be showing and walking you guys through all the camera gear that I've gotten over the past years of my photography career. Okay guys, I am so sorry, but my fire alarm kept going off and I didn't know how to change it. And you can hear it throughout the entire video, so disclaimer on that, I'm sorry. And I'll be telling you the pros and the cons of each camera and each lens. Starting off strong, my first camera was the Canon 80D. This one is a solid ass camera, okay? I am a Canon girl, so I only use Canon. Obviously not only Canon lenses, but for camera bodies, I use Canon. And this baby has lasted me so long. It's so versatile, and it couldn't have been a better first beginner camera. Basically, some things about this camera that I really love is the flip screen. So if I wanted to vlog, I could do that. And it could also flip this way. It could fold in. Basically, I love this flip screen. And yeah, another great thing about the screen is that it is touchscreen. So taking photos, like when I first started off, I honestly loved to just touch the screen to take the photos and just like press the square. Like you can focus by like literally touching the screen. Like you can focus on your subject by doing that. So I loved that. Another thing that I love about Canon cameras are just the coloring of it. Like right now I'm filming on a Canon and it's not edited. I don't think I'm gonna edit this video with any colors, but I already feel like the coloring is just so beautiful. A downfall about this camera was that I felt like it was a bit heavy, but like honestly, like does it really matter? Unless you're like traveling, then I get you on a light camera, but if you're like trying to do photo shoots and become a photographer, like really, yes, light is way better, but it's not gonna hurt. Like I'm a small little girl. I have no muscles, and if I can do it, then you could do it. So the Canon 80D can also film too. The video quality on it is not the best. Like it's not the best for video, but it does film. So like if I wanted to vlog, I can. And I will probably soon switch out my cameras right now for this video so that I can show you my new camera, because I'm filming on my new camera right now. So the reason why I switched out of this camera was because I took it to the sand dunes and sand got all in it, and it still works really well. It's just like, I also felt like I just needed an upgrade because I had this camera for like 4 years, and I also wanted a full frame mirrorless camera, which that's what I have right now. And I think that was actually super important for me to have, since I'm a photographer who gets clients and who needs like really high quality gear. The mirrorless thing, I don't honestly think it's a big deal if you're starting off, so I wouldn't really like look into that much. I mean, if you really want a high quality camera, like definitely get a mirrorless full frame. If you're starting off, I would say it doesn't really matter if you go mirrorless or not. Okay, so yeah, that's Canon 80D. Let's go on to my lenses that I first got when I started off. Okay, so let's start with the 50mm lens. So this is the Canon 50mm 1.8. This is my first lens, and it's light, it's versatile, and I think it's a really great starter lens. It's also cheap. It was $100 for me when I got it, and I think it's a little more expensive now, but it's still really cheap compared to other lenses. The only problem about the 50 that I personally didn't like was that I thought it made my photos look amateur. Like that's why I switched out of it, and I don't even use the 50 anymore. Like I don't touch it, and if anything, I actually hate using it. People say that the 50mm is supposed to be what you see like an eye, like the closest to an eye, but personally I feel like it's not. I don't know, but the problem that I had with the 50 was that I was standing so far away from my subject. Like I would have to walk so far, and I just felt like that was so awkward with like my models and clients, and I hated that. I also felt like there wasn't any, it's a very standard lens. Like you're gonna get a nice simple headshot. You're not gonna get any like distortion, or at least in my personal opinion, I don't really see any distortions in it. And I just think it's very standard. It's a good thing to have in your kit, but I don't personally love it the most, and that's why I don't really use it anymore. I know a lot of professional photographers still use the 50 and they make it look so good. I just think in my personal photography style, it just doesn't work. I don't know. Next up, I have a Sigma zoom lens. It's the 17 to 70mm 2.8. This baby is super versatile. It can zoom in, which is so convenient in a way, like especially if you're traveling and if you do more like nature photography. Personally, I actually never really use the zoom. Honestly, I don't really like zoom lenses anymore. All of this is like said in my personal experience being only a portrait photographer. So I don't really do anything else. I just do portraits. And I know that zoom lenses can affect the quality a little bit, like nothing crazy, because this is my most used lens, by the way. Like I use this one so much because it's a 17 and a 17 is pretty wide, and I love my fashion photography to be wider when I want like wider angle shots or like cool poses. It also gives it like an edgier feel. I would definitely also recommend getting Sigma lenses. I have another Sigma I think one or two other Sigma lenses, and I love them. Like they literally work fine. I wouldn't recommend spending all the money on Canon lenses if a Sigma is just as good. Obviously a Canon might be a tiny bit better, but it's not really worth the money compared to a Sigma. But yeah, that is a Sigma lens, and I still use this one a lot. I'm looking at it right now, and it's around $448 on Amazon right now, so around like $400 to $500. So I would say go get this one because it's so good. Okay, next up is the 35mm. So this one is my most expensive lens right now on Canon brand. It's running for almost $2,000. I got a Sigma one. This one was $800. I remember being so happy to get this one, and this is just more of like a professional, higher quality lens. I would say don't get this lens if you're not super invested in photography. Like I would say get it on your journey of photography when you're getting better and when you want to upgrade from the 50mm. I love this lens a lot because it's just very standard. Like when I do graduation photo shoots, senior portraits, prom photos, stuff that's like very standard in a way but very beautiful. Like if I want a simple, really beautiful portrait, I would definitely use this one. It doesn't have too much distortion, which is why it's good as a standard lens. It's a great thing in my kit to have. Yeah, I love it a lot, and it's very solid and it's very high quality. Next, let's talk about my fisheye lens. This one is very trendy right now. Like everyone wants fisheye photos, and I wanted to hop on that trend and try it. And I also think fisheye is so fun. This brand is actually called Altura. If you get a fisheye lens for a Canon or a Sigma, they are extremely expensive. So I was like, bro, like I cannot do that. So I literally just went on Amazon and picked this random brand that I literally have no idea about. I actually didn't even do that much research, and I just got it. It was only $200, I believe. The lens, it's not like the best quality in a way because it is a fisheye, but it works and it gets the job done, and I think it's so fun. So the only problem that I have with this lens is that it's a manual focus lens, so it's not autofocus, which means when I'm taking photos of someone, I have to focus it myself, which kind of is hard when you're looking through the camera because it's kind of hard to exactly see if it's focused on their face. Usually it's okay, it's not too bad. I've had like a couple struggles with it. Like I know like when I go back home and I look through the photos and like all the photos are blurry, I'm like, bro. But you would get some really solid shots if you know how to manually focus right. I just think it's a super fun lens, and it's not that expensive, and I would recommend it if you want to like have more fun. And this brand Altura I think is fine, works totally fine for me. Okay, so next I'm going to talk about my new camera, so I'm just going to switch cameras really quick. Sorry, I had to adjust the setup a little bit, but as you can tell, I am in a different camera. I think the coloring is a little different, and I'm using my 17 to 70mm lens. So this is the 17. It's not as wide as the lens that I'm going to be talking about, but like this is the quality if you were curious. This is my new camera that I got this summer. It's the Canon EOS R6. So the R series came out pretty recently. They have like the R5, R7 I believe, and I did my research, and they're honestly, the whole R series are really nice. They're all mirrorless full frame cameras, and the reason why I got the R6 was because I just felt like it was a good price for what I needed. I would say that if you have a bigger budget, you should get the R5 because I thought the R5 was pretty nice, but for me, all I was really concerned about was having really high quality photos, and I thought the R6 could achieve that really well, which it does. And another thing that I really love about the R6 is that the focusing, the autofocus on it is really good. Like the tracking system, like when I'm taking portraits and like my model is like moving around, like I can literally half press it to focus super easily, and it's tracking her really, really well, which I love. It's super convenient, and the problem that I have with the Canon 80D was that it was not doing that fast enough. And I also think a big part of that was because the camera's a little broken. As you can tell in this video, the tracking is only tracking my face right now. It's like hard for it to like focus on the camera. It's only focusing on my face. So this camera also has a flip screen like the Canon 80D, which I really love, and it's also tap screen too. Coloring is great. As you saw in my video, the coloring looked way better than this one. Actually is not that bad. I just look kind of pink, but that's easily adjustable. I'm just kind of too lazy to adjust it. It also takes in 2 SD cards, which is super nice. 2 SD card slots. See, it's not even focusing. Okay, there. And it can also video, and I believe the video is a lot better than the Canon 80D. Basically just an upgrade from the Canon 80D. It's very similar, just better. I wouldn't recommend this as your first lens unless you have the budget for it. But if you want it as your first lens and you have the money for it, get it. It is a little bit lighter, like the body feels smaller. Basically this lens is basically just a better version of the 80D. It's full frame, mirrorless, light, video is better, flip screen, touch screen, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, which the 80D also has Wi-Fi and Bluetooth and all of that too. This is just like a higher quality version of it, and yeah. So on this camera is the 16mm 2.8 lens, and this is actually my second newest lens. I really like this lens. As you can tell in the previous clips, like a wider angle and you can get so much stuff. But what I love about this lens is how light it is. It's so small. It's not a zoom lens. And I actually got this because I'm going to be going to Italy in a couple weeks, and I just wanted something super light to travel with. And because my body is a little heavier, I definitely needed like a lighter lens. And a wide angle lens, it's also just more versatile. I'd rather get more than less. And I also just love the colors and the effect that it gives because it's so wide. It kind of gives off this film look, like this vintagey film look that I really, really love. And it is very disordered, so when I'm doing portraits, it does kind of give off that fisheye look, but not fisheye. Like not fisheye enough, but almost fisheye, if that makes sense. But yeah, I love the 16mm. It was only 300 or 400, so it's not terrible. And now let's just talk about like other tools and gears that I use during my photo shoots. I recently got a tripod. This one is super nice because it's like bendable. And recently, because I've been getting more into video, I do want a tripod, and when I go travel, I think it'll be fun to like vlog sometimes maybe. I just think having a tripod is pretty essential in the kit also, and I really actually like this one because it's bendable. I do have another tripod from Nikon, and it's not bendable, and I just don't like it. So I definitely recommend getting the bendable ones because you can also just like twist it around a pole if you want it or something. So another essential thing I think to get is a light reflector. So because I don't have a flash and because I don't have any lighting equipment, I only shot outdoors and in the day. Like obviously I would do some nighttime shoots, but it was like very rare, and I would also get very like nervous to do it. A big part of my photography is very daylight outdoor, and so having this light reflector is super, super, super useful. So this is a light reflector, and it's super nice because it's super foldable, and the brand is Ander, Andaer. You can just get any on Amazon, honestly, and they're not even that expensive. And I love it because it's like so compact, and I can just pack it and bring it with me. So this light reflector comes with the silver color and the gold color, which is on this side, and you could just like flip it around when you want to use it. I personally don't use the gold because usually when I shoot in the daylight, I feel like the colors from my camera already produce very warm colors. So the gold just makes the subject look super, super warm and super yellow, and I just don't really need that. So I usually use the silver, and if I kind of point the light right now on me, okay, I don't know if you guys can see a difference, but it's already evening out my skin tones, like right there. There's already so much light on this side, as if I don't have it. That's without, and that's width. I think this is very useful to have, and it has saved me in so many occasions during daylight, because obviously when there's like harsh sunlight on their face, like you can easily just even out the skin tones on it. But yeah, very useful. I would definitely recommend getting one. Not even that expensive. Another essential item in my kit that I personally need to have are these lens filters from Cine Packs. So this is not sponsored by Cine Packs. They don't pay me to do this, but I just really love their brand. And basically they always send me their new camera filters that they create, and I love these so much. Like, I use them on almost all my photos because I do love that like glowy soft look. So I have basically all the different ones, but right now what I'm holding is the streak filter, and I use this one a good amount. You can't fully tell. Actually, let me show you. Okay, so I have the filter on the lens, right? If I shine a light on it, you see these like this streak effect. Basically this is what this filter does. So if I'm taking photos of a model, and there's like a cool sunlight ray, this will make the ray stand out so much. And the nice thing is that it's twistable on the lens, so you can easily twist it and change like how you want the ray to look, if that makes sense. So yeah, this one, I love this filter and I use it a lot, and I honestly just kind of keep it on my lenses. Like, I never really take it out, which I don't know if that's like the cleanest thing to do. The downside is that it can like affect the quality of your photos, so it won't be super crisp. But if you don't really care about that too much, then yeah, it doesn't really matter. Lastly, this is my camera bag that I use for my photo shoots, and it's by Brevity, and I love it. And like, I will always tell anyone to get this bag. It's just so versatile, so useful, and I literally want to like work for them. It's like, I love this brand so much, and it's just so comfortable. First, you have this suitcase like holder thing, so you can like slide it on your suitcase and it can just sit on top of your suitcase, which I think it's so useful for travel. It has a laptop waterproof space for your laptop, and I love that it's waterproof because I feel very safe with it. The great thing about this design is that you can put it on the floor like this. You can unzip it here, and usually I put my gear right here, and they have like separators and stuff, and you just grab your gear like this, which is so nice. And the separators are adjustable, so you can adjust it however you like. But then there's also like just the front pocket, so I just put like stuff here like batteries, SD cards, any other essential stuff that I need. You can zip from the top, and you could grab your camera from the top if you want, but I usually put like other stuff on top, which can also fit a lot. Like, you have all this space in a way, and then you have your camera gear on the bottom. They also have this pocket where it's even easier to grab your camera. This, zip down and grab my camera. They have these straps at the bottom where you can strap your tripod inside. They also have this water bottle holder, which is so nice because I have a Herschel backpack and there's no water bottle holder, which is so annoying. They also have a secret zip right here where usually people put their phones and stuff in, or anything like their wallets, anything really small. The straps are extremely like comfortable, perfect backpack, and I usually just put all my gear. Usually bring 3 lenses to a shoot, so 1 camera and 3 lenses, and it works perfectly. Lastly, this is super random, but I definitely recommend getting a hard drive. I have so many photos and I cannot fit that in my computer, and a flash drive is also too small, so I recommend just getting a hard drive that can just store everything. I have so many photos and I cannot fit that in my computer, and a flash drive is also too small, so I recommend just getting a hard drive that can just store everything. I got this one on Amazon, and it's by Seagate, and it's really pretty. It's blue. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. I will link all the gear down below, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.